Hello YouTube, this is James with MTG Lounge, and I'm going to be doing a deck tech on my Hydra deck. This is basically just a little prototype of what it would be. Let's get started. First off, we have 4 Elvish Mystics to basically just mana ramp up there. Then we have 4 Sylvian Carotids, also for mana ramp, but they're also hexproof. They can't be targeted. Next, I have 2 Vastwood Hydras. The reason I have these in here is just in case I have other good stuff on the field and they just so happen to die, I can carry over their +1/+1 counters over to, say, another Hydra. Or if my Mystics are in trouble, give the +1/+1 counters to them. And also it pairs great with another Hydra in here. Also have the Nessian Wilds Ravager. I have 2 of those. It's great because it can put a little bit of a bind on an opponent. Say they really don't want you to have the +1/+1 counters, but they also really don't want you to kill one of their creatures. Puts them in a bit of a spot, and they have to reevaluate. Also, it's good power for just 6. Next, I have 2 Mistcutter Hydras. Later you hear me talk about it, but I also have 2 of these in the sideboard. Mostly for control decks that are out there, and also it's a good pressure point. Puts a lot of pressure on them. Next, I have 2 Heroes Bane. Basically, if I have mana open, which normally I will, I can pretty much double the +1/+1 counters on this creature, because it's pay 4, put X +1/+1 counters on Heroes Bane, where X is its power. It comes out with 4 +1/+1 counters on it. So long as I can afford the 4, it'll keep doubling. Next we have Polychronos, another good Hydra. I have 2 of these. Its monstrosity is pretty awesome if you're playing against a high number of creature decks, especially if they're low power toughness creatures. You just kill them all off easy. It's monstrosity X, XX, and a forest. Whenever it becomes monstrous, it deals X damage divided as you choose amongst any number of target creatures your opponent controls. Each of these creatures also deal damage equal to its power to Polychronos. But since he's going to be getting higher anyways, he's going to afford to take the damage. Next I have 4 Scourge of Skull of Vale. Reason I have these in there is because they're 2/2 Trampler coming out for 3. Also, I can tap it and sacrifice another creature, and it gets basically its its toughness in +1/+1 counters. Now this is really good with the Vastwood, because whenever the Vastwood dies, you get to transfer all of its +1/+1 counters to any other creature. And since you're already doing that, and this also takes it, you're basically putting double the amount of +1/+1 counters on here, making it a 10/10 in just one move. Plus it has trample, so you have a 10/10 trampler out there, if you can get that combo to work. I also put 4 Colonian Hydras in here because I love Colonian Hydra. I think it's a pretty powerful card, so long as you put it in the right deck. Especially in a Hydra deck, all your Hydras are constantly doubling because they're all mostly based on +1/+1 counters. So yeah, every time it attacks, all of your +1/+1 counters double. Got 4 of those in there. Also got Nalea, God of the Hunt. I got 2 of these in there because she gives everything trample, as well as she's a 6/6 indestructible for 4. And usually I will have the devotion to use her and play with her. Got 2 of her just in case. Bow of Nalea. I got this for the death touch. Say just in case I have to swing in with one of my Elvish Mystics, it'll have death touch. Also, it gives me options down here for what I want to do. Also, it's devotion, which helps. I got 3 Predators Report, which is choose target creature you control. You gain life equal to that creature's power plus its toughness. Really good on Hydras because they're normally high on power and toughness because of all the +1/+1 counters that you'll be having. And it only costs 3 to do that. That's for mostly if you're in a spot. I got 2 Solidity of Heroes. 2. To choose any number of target creatures, double the amount of +1/+1 counters that are on there. Really good for Hydras because they're +1/+1 counter based. And then we've got Citizen Tactics. I've got 2 of those. And until end of turn, any number of target creatures each get +1/+1 again. Tap it. This creature fights another creature. Hydras are normally really high in power and toughness, so they can afford to fight creatures. So it's just basically a good removal card. Next I got 2 Ranger's Guile. This is to save one of my Hydras in case they get in trouble, or even one of my Elvish Mystics if I really need the mana. Target creature gets +1/+1, it gains hexproof until end of turn for 1. I have 20 Forests in here. Just normal land. And then I have 2 Nykthos Shrine to Nyx. With Hydras, you'll usually have some pretty good devotion going on there. Also, with the Bow of Nalea, Nalea herself, and all those other cards, my devotion will be pretty high. And whenever I use this, I'll get a lot more mana, so my Hydras, if they're the X Hydras, they'll come out with a lot more power and toughness. So that's always good. Well, that would conclude my deck. There's nothing final on my sideboard yet. We're still taking a look at it, and more than likely the Mistcutter Hydras will be in there. I'll also probably have maybe 2 Naturalizes just in case an enchantment deck comes up, because normally there's a lot of enchantment creature cards in there. I'd also have 2 more Ranger's Guile because I like to save my Hydras from whatever's going to kill them. And the rest of it is pretty much undecided. But this is how far it goes so far. And if you would, please hit that like button. Be sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.